The following is a transcript of an entry from the Whispered Diaries for the best effect. Read this in a low, breathy rasp, as if the darkness in the room is listening back. They call this the Heartland. But standing here, in the center of Nebraska, I feel no pulse. Bike in Prague. The streets are narrow, winding arteries that have bled history for 1,000 years. You are never truly alone there. The stones remember your ancestor. But America is built on a scale that ignores the human soul. It is a mathematical grid laid over a void. Primera, ese driving. I have been driving for 10 hours. In Europe, 10 hours takes you across 3 countries, through 5 languages, and over a dozen mountain ranges. Here, 10 hours only buys you more corn. The stalks are tall, yellowed, and rattling in a wind that doesn't feel like air, it feels like a warning. My GPS died an hour ago. Not just lost, signal it died. The screen turned a bruised purple and stayed that way. I pulled off onto a gravel track, a thin gray line cutting through the endless gold. I thought I saw a farmhouse. Primera, es wrong. It was a tall, Victorian structure, the kind you see in the old films, but it was painted a color that shouldn't exist in nature, a flat, matte gray that seemed to suck the light out of the sunset. He stepped out of the car. The silence hit me like a physical weight. There were no birds. No crickets, just the click-clack of the dry corn hitting itself. I walked toward the porch. My boots on the gravel sounded like breaking bones. Hello. Primera, jed. My accent felt heavy, clumsy, like a foreign object in this empty air. The door was already open. Just a crack. He shouldn't have entered. We Europeans have a fascination with the new world, a belief that everything here is fresh and shallow. But as I pushed that door open, I realized America has a different kind of old. It isn't the old of cathedrals. It's the old of the dirt. The old of things that were here before the maps were drawn. The interior was empty of furniture, but the walls were covered in tally marks, millions of them, scratched into the wallpaper, carved into the floorboards. He found a diary on the floor, not a leather one like this, but a cheap, spiral-bound notebook. I opened it to the last page. It didn't have words. It had a drawing of me, my car, my face. And then I heard it from the basement. It wasn't a scream. It wasn't a growl. It was a voice flat, American, monotonous reciting. My own passport number. Number 2 menos 0, menos 4, menos B menos X, menos 7. He backed away, my heart hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird. I reached for the door handle, but the door wasn't there. There was only a wall of corn. The house was gone. The hallway was gone. I was standing in the middle of a field, and the sun had vanished instantly. He started to run. You cannot understand the terror of an American cornfield at night until you are in one. It is a labyrinth where every wall looks the same. Rustly. Something was moving parallel to me, 3 rows over. It was tall. I could see the tops of the stalks moving. It was moving at exactly my pace. Who is there? Primera, escrea, myth. The voice came back, closer now. It didn't sound like a person anymore. It sounded like a recording being played through a broken speaker. We have so much room here, it whispered. So much space to hide the things Europe ran out of breath for. Primera, tripped. My face hit the dirt cold, sour-tasting soil. I turned on my back, and there it was. It wasn't a ghost. It wasn't a monster. It was a man in a suit, but his face was a smooth, featureless expanse of skin. No eyes, no mouth, just a faint indentation where a nose should be. He leaned over me. He smelled like ozone and old paper. He reached out a hand to hand, with too many fingers, and he touched my throat. I don't know how I got back to the car. I remember the engine screaming as I floored it, the gravel flying like shrapnel. I didn't stop until I saw the neon lights of a gas station 200 miles away. I sat under the fluorescent lights, trembling, clutching a cup of burnt coffee. I looked in the rearview mirror to check my neck. There were no bruises, but there, on my throat, printed in perfect typewriter black ink, was a set of coordinates. I looked them up on my phone. They lead to a spot in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, halfway between my home and this godforsaken plains land, halfway between who I was and what is now following me. Wait, did you hear that? I'm in a hotel in Chicago now, 20 floors up. But I can hear it. The rustle. The corn is growing inside the walls.